On this edition of Greg's Garage, we head off to Rome, Georgia and SMAC to assemble an ATV you might own.
I'd fire him. I wouldn't have him.
We take Yamaha's all-new 2013 Super Sport Touring FJR 1300 for a spin. We have some highlights from last week's round 2 of the AMA Pro Racing Series. Take you around the web for some cool videos, talk some news, and more. So let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to Greg's Garage. On this power sports lifestyle show, we bring you all kinds of stuff from around the industry. Now, power sports are motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, watercraft, and snowmobiles. And if you have any questions about anything to do with the industry, just let me know. You can reach me at show@gregsgaragetv.com. And speaking of the industry, let's get to some news. Hey off-road riders, do you know that there's a fund out there that can help you keep your OHV riding area up to snuff? It's true. It's called the Right Rider Access Fund. And in 2012, it awarded over $500,000 to help OHV riding areas to repair storm damage, create educational programs about off-highway vehicle use, and so much more. You can find out more information at www.riderfund.org. Now I want to talk about some technical stuff that came about from the recent MotoGP race at Mugello. Now, during practice, Repsol Honda rider Marc Marquez had a huge crash at just under 210 miles per hour. Now Marquez, who wears the Alpine Star Tech Air suit, a set of leathers equipped with airbags that inflate around the neck and shoulders, was able to shake that crash off and race. Can you believe that? Alpine Stars released the data logged by the onboard computer, and it shows some crazy stuff. Impact speed, 209.9 miles an hour. The first impact with the ground, 0.08 seconds after crash detection. The first impact with the ground, 0.030 seconds after full airbag inflation. Airbag inflation took 0.05 of a second. Now the max recorded energy was 25 Gs. That's the max recording the accelerometer in the suit has. The total duration of the crash, 4.250 seconds. That is just incredible. But it's opened up the conversation about the requirements of suits like Dane's D-Air and Alpine Stars Tech Air for MotoGP. And by the way, this technology from Alpine Stars in a full set of leathers is available to purchase right now for around $5,000. For the street, they tell me that it's going to be coming somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 to 10 months. Now, according to DaneEasy.com, the D-Air Street is already available in Europe. Okay, well, that was a bit of a long news story, but rider protection is always something I think about, right? I mean, dress for the crash, not for the ride kind of a thing. Anyway, let's move on to our first featured story of the show. This is the time when we take you out of Greg's Garage and to someplace different. This time, Rome, Georgia, and Suzuki Manufacturing of America Corporation, or what we call SMAC. This is where the King Quad 750, 500, and 400s are made and then shipped all over the world. We're going to tell you how these ATVs are made, manufactured, and then this boy is going to get his fingers dirty, and I'm going to get in there and make an ATV that you can buy right here in the United States, maybe. Or maybe you don't want to, I don't know. But we're going to be working right here in Station 2, and then we're going to be working all the way down the line to Station 24. All right, but don't worry everyone, they are quality checked. All right, let's check it out. Now before we get into that, let me take you back in time to the day before. I had a quick orientation that outlined what SMAC was all about. That got me up to speed on all the safety things I needed to know, then up early to get the day rolling. There are plenty of things that happen before the assembly process begins, like manufacturing the foundation of all ATVs. After the frame is manufactured right here on site, it's powder coated, the wiring harness gets put on, and then it goes to station number 1 where they etch in the VIN number. Once the VIN number is done, the ATV is born. And as it rolls down from station to station, it starts to take form. In station number 1, you have substations just off to the side. So the handlebar and steering assembly is put together. That's grabbed and put onto the frame. And then you have the front suspension. That's where I got to work. I got to put the steering assembly on, and the front suspension. Work with a couple great guys, and we got some ATVs assembled. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got it. I didn't line it up with the thing.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, so this next.
Temporary bolt.
Temporary bolt comes out. Do you see the white box above my head hanging from the ceiling? That's all part of the quality control process. That box receives information about the clearly defined and outlined assembly steps for each station. On the torque wrench, there's a transmitter box that will tell the system if, number 1, the step has been completed, number 2, if the torque spec was done correctly.
Plan is to get you going so I can take a break. That's what I'm going for anyway.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Angle it that way.
Yeah, you go. And see, when you get it in there, it kind of sits down.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna pick this guy up.
Yeah.
Line him up like that. This guy goes in the back. There, and you and Victor are gonna teamwork it. Run that one down.
Ready? Good. Now the line keeps moving and waits for no man or woman. You've got to keep your pace up and don't miss bolts like I was doing. If your process is not recorded, the line will stop until it's complete. And there's a warning when it's coming. More on that later. But safe to say, the clock is always ticking and it's always being quality checked. Are they facing you?
They could be. They could be facing the other way. Just use the other line. Like that. And you go back with your white dot and you white dot everything you just done. Like so. Then you start all over again.
So fast forward to station number 7. We left you off down at 2. And so from 2, you have the rear suspension that goes on. And then as you start to get down the line, the radiator goes on, the shocks go on, and then, well, the heart of the matter, the engine goes in. So this engine is actually assembled somewhere else. But you know, one of the things that's pretty interesting is how this ATV starts to take shape. And when you listen to all the parts and where they come from, 50% of the parts on these ATVs are made right here in the United States, in states like Kentucky and Illinois, South Carolina, right here in Georgia. So you really start to get to the impression that when you, the consumer, buys an ATV, you're really putting food on a lot of tables around the United States. Now, later in the show, we'll take you back to SMAC and show you more of the line and the first station I worked in. It was a bit of a, anyway, so we're gonna move on to worldwide video. The Isle of Man TT just wrapped up June 7th, and there's still a buzz going on about that unique race. Honda Racing TT Legends put together a tribute to mark the 30th anniversary of TT legend Joey Dunlop's first win.
There's one or two reasons really why we decided to really feature the life and times and achievements of Joey Dunlop. First, he's Honda's longest ever standing factory rider. He rode for Honda longer than any rider in Honda's history, whether it was MotoGP, Grand Prix or the road circuits. So we feel we deserve, or Honda's family deserve, to have something done in honour of all that success that Joey achieved. On top of that, he won 5 World Championships and of course 26 TT races, 24 of which were on Honda machinery. So we've decided, as 1983 was the first year of Joey's Honda winning period at the TT, and this year, 2013, is the 30-year period since he actually did win that first race. Now was a nice time to honour Joey for some of the achievements that he's had in his career. And so we decided to put a programme together and really feature heavily at the Isle of Man this year, celebrating the life and times of Joey Dunlop.
I've seen the design, yeah, it just brought back all the memories really from when I was Joey's teammate, you know, the colours and the iconic, obviously Honda red with the black Honda wings, pretty retro, you know, it just looked so cool on the day, you know, I was in different colours, I was purple and pink, so I didn't look very cool at the time when I was Joey's teammate, and Joey was the red Honda colours, which was really special.
Another buzz going on, Mission Motorcycles and their release of the RS. This one comes via their Vimeo page. And for those of you that are hungry for some moto action, this one comes to us from down under.
You're up, mate.
Out of my way, you goose! What's wrong with this place? Who the flaming heck put that there?
Dude,
Don't dude me, you long-haired yahoo!
eat a Snickers.
Why?
Because you're a cranky old man when you're hungry. Better?
Better.
Get off my lawn!
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers really satisfies.
And since we're on the topic of dirt bikes, Graham Jarvis takes us to a skateboard park.
Yeah, it's the boy, Marvin Devine. DC, Neverland, Virginia. What up? I got you. Woo!
Don't get my mic.
We're gonna keep it old school with this one.
Let it rap, okay?
Just a beat of the mic.
Okay.
That's all I need, baby.
Whenever you're ready, Mr.
Devontae,
Divine.
we gonna touch this million, bro. Top season.
Show the world that you don't play that.
Everybody, I gotcha. They say, how does it feel to be worth a meal without having a deal? My money hits ADHD, it never stays still, so it raises. His album ain't labeled as most hated, claiming I'm so basic. But may not hear that bass in your ride. As you're playing my records, thinking you fly. But when your girl wanna join my team, you be like, nah, baby, he ain't worth the dime. Spend that money on some Mickey D's. I'm just trying to feast on caviar from overseas. I don't like fish, but my bait weight grows. Home with Santa Claus vocabulary, that's 3 hoes. Thinking you the man, cause you messing with my old girl. She ain't break my heart, I just got tired of broke girls. The ones from high school were in my past tense. Now they searching for me, got a roaming like an Aztec. Wish I ain't focused on them in my classes. Maybe I could've gone to my graduation practice.
And the flow will get hotter in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And to really finish things off, have you ever wondered how to make a motorcycle out of a balloon? Well, my friends, wonder no longer.
Hello Balloon World, I'm your balloon twister Michael Floyd, and today I want to teach you how to make a 2-balloon motorcycle. It can also work as a bicycle. So when that smart little kid says, make me a bicycle clown, now you'll have a bicycle to make them out of only 2 balloons. Let me show you how to make it. You're now pinching it 3/4 of the way down. You want to inflate it to there. See? 3/4. Doesn't all fit in shot. Now I'm going to twist the same length for the handlebar on this side, followed by another 1-inch bubble pinch twist, followed by a 1-inch bubble. You can sort of see them now looking right there. And usually about this time I give it to the kid and throw in some kind of a reference to make sure they don't pop a wheelie. Alright, I'm Michael Floyd, your balloon twister. For more balloon twisting instructions, please go to balloon-animals.com.
Yeah, I did that. All the links to these videos can be found on the show page at gregsgaragetv.com. Road trip on Greg's Garage to California to test Yamaha's 2013 FJR 1300A. Introduced to the press in November of 2012. Some people already own it, but now I'm going to ride it. Let me give you the specs on the all-new Yamaha FJR 1300A. It comes to play with a 1298cc liquid-cooled dual overhead cam 16-valve pony maker. It's fuel-injected, and it's matched with a 5-speed transmission. For low maintenance, it's driven by shaft drive. You've got 48mm fully adjustable front forks, and managing the bumps in the back, a single shock with preload and rebound damping. Stopping power comes from a pair of hardy 320mm disc brakes with ABS up front and 282mm on the back. Now, this is really cool. The seat height is adjustable, so you can set it at 32.5 inches or lower it to 31.7. The handlebars are adjustable also, 3 different positions to fit a variety of riders. It has a fuel capacity of 6.6 gallons, so you can tour in a very sporty way for a long time without stopping. And since you'll be riding a long way, very cool, very functional saddlebags to store your stuff. Some other things that are standard: MotoGP-derived traction control, cruise control, adjustable windscreen, and more. When the press got hold of this motorcycle back in November 2012, Yamaha handed them basically a slide package, double-sided, about 30 pages of marketing information, of test data, of all the changes made to this FJR 1300, and there were quite a few. The bottom line is, I'm not going to go over all those features. I'm going to tell you how it is to ride this motorcycle. It's great. It really is an amazing motorcycle. The chassis is phenomenal. The engine with a couple extra horsepower, the way it makes power is great. It has 2 different maps that you can choose from, a sport and a touring. Touring gives you a flatter curve with not as much punch as the sport. So if you're in rainy conditions or you just want to putt around town and not have to worry so much about throttle management, you can do that. Has cruise control, which is really nice. The windscreen going up and down is awesome. With my frame, with the windscreen down, you get a lot of air blowing up on your chest when you're at speed, 60, 70 miles an hour. And when you raise the windscreen, on the fly by the way, it really helps to reduce the amount of force, the amount of pressure you have on your hands to pull yourself onto the motorcycle. It's got all kinds of information in terms of fuel mileage and how long the trip is and how's the motor running, and it's great. You can see your speedometer easily. Great instrument cluster. The thing that's unique about this bike that was difficult for me to get used to was the new button of turning it on and off. So on most motorcycles you have a button where you turn it on, turn it off, and then the starter button's underneath. This button that Yamaha created is stop, run, and then you press the button to start. So every now and then it was a little bit awkward, but I imagine if I owned this motorcycle, I would definitely get used to it in a matter of moments. So big winner here, this Yamaha FJR 1300A. 17% of all sport bikes sold in the United States are sport touring motorcycles. So if you're in the market for one, definitely go check out your Yamaha dealership and go sit on the FJR 1300. The bike is awesome. The GEICO Motorcycle AMA Pro Road Racing Series stopped at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at Road America recently, and here are some highlights from that race action. You're looking at National Guard Superbike highlights, race number 1 on Saturday. When the hammer dropped, number 36 Martin CARDENAS got away with number 1 Josh Hayes in tow, and number 2 the championship points leader Josh HERRIN in 3rd spot. By the time they got to turn 3, Hayes was having none of Martin leading, and boom, oh! A little bumping and grinding sent the 36 back to 3rd spot. As for the points leader Josh HERRIN, he was in a good position to hold on to that points lead until a miscue. He ran off the track. The good news is he saved it and was able to recover. But he had a lot of work to do to climb back up into that points chase. Here, passing number 11, that's Chris Fillmore on the KTM HMC Racing KTM Superbike. But it was all Hayes out front. He would take the checkered flag, his 4th in a row. Elkhart Lake, his team celebrating. And how about the battle for 3rd place? The final spot on the podium went to Roger Hayden on the National Guard Suzuki. Larry Pegram on that Foremost Insurance Pegram Racing Yamaha just couldn't keep Roger close. So it's all about Hayes on this day. The leaderboard shows Hayes, Cardenas, Hayden. Back there in 5th spot, Danny Eslick, with Josh HERRIN recovering to 6th. May, Anthony Fillmore, and West rounding out the top 10. Moving on to Sunday, race number 2 of the National Guard Superbike Series. It looked much like race number 1 in terms of the start because Martin CARDENAS got the whole shot again, but this time in 2nd spot goes HERRIN with Josh Hayes in 3rd. The question was, did Martin make enough adjustments to the motorcycle with his YOSHIMURA Suzuki factory racing crew, and were they going to be able to hold it? Well, this time Hayes gets in the slipstream early on in the race and is able to make his way by Martin. Now, Hayes started to chip away at Martin, taking about 2.5 seconds away from him, but Martin, late in the race, was able to claw Hayes back in. More on that in a minute. Unfortunately for the 99 of Jeff May on that Team Hero bike, he made a mistake, fell off the motorcycle, and a big crash into the wall for that EBR. May was okay. This is the battle for 11th place between 18 Chris Ulrich on that M4 Broaster Chicken Honda and Jason Farrell on the 86. That's the Farrell Performance US Chrome Kawasaki. Now, Farrell finished 6th in this event last year, but Ulrich on that CBR 1000RR was putting up quite a fight. Eventually, 11th place went to Jason Farrell. But it was all Josh Hayes on this day, as he walked away from Martin by only 0.8 of a second, but was able to score the victory, his 5th in a row at Elkhart Lake. So HERRIN recovers to 3rd, but loses the championship lead. David Anthony, Chris Fillmore move up. Aaron Yates into the top 10. Well done for him. Now here's the points. Josh HERRIN's now 13 back from Martin. Hayes in 4th spot, gaining ground rapidly. Now, if you're interested in the AMA Pro Superbike Series, you can tune in to CBS Sports Network on June 22nd at 2:30 will be pre-race show. Superbikes at 4, both Saturday and Sunday. Keep in mind that CBS Sports Network, not big CBS Sports. Now, we had a chance to talk with Josh Hayes about his weekend via Skype, and here's what he had to say.
All in all, Road America was a pretty incredible weekend. After Daytona, having the weekend that I had where I rode really well but had 2 mechanicals, even though it probably shouldn't, it definitely just inside within, it gave me a lot of doubt. And so it's funny that on Saturday when we were starting the race, how nervous I was, that I was just almost in a panic situation of, oh my God, I have to win a race before the year's over. You know, so I was feeling quite a bit of pressure just internally, and to get out there and ride a strong race on the first day was good. And Sunday morning, the warm-up was a little dodgy. It was really cold, by far the coldest temperatures we had seen. I went out and figured it out, had a strong warm-up, felt really good for the race, and the skies opened up just in time for us to get our Superbike race on, and another good weekend, another good race, and it was a little different. I think Martin is going to be a little bit of a different animal to race as the year goes on than what I have been racing the last couple of years. There are some strengths that he has similar to Blake and Josh and the guys I've raced with before, but probably the biggest one was, you know, when we were riding our hardest early in the race, I was able to ride away from him a little bit and then kind of settle down. But as soon as I settled down, it's weird that he was able to kind of start over and find another second a lap almost and start increasing his speed at that time. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out how to race against, because it's hard to change your rhythm.
Congratulations, Hayes. Now we move on to smaller displacement motorcycles and the GoPro Daytona Sport Bike class, where Cameron Beaubier was your fastest qualifier, sitting on pole position. But it was a drag race, as always, to turn number 1. Getting the early shot is number 95, that's JD Beach on the Road Race Factory Red Bull entry. A couple turns later, here comes turn 5. Gnarly, 6th gear, flat out, downhill braking as hard as you can get it. JD would make a mistake, Cameron Beaubier would go by, but Dane Wolverine Westby, trying the inside, goes up to 6 for a moment, runs off the racetrack. He's able to save it on that GEICO Honda. So here comes Jake Lewis on the 85, the MEEN Motorsports Racing R6. He would start to throw some punches at Dane Westby. Lewis, coming from the Super Sport class where he was the East champion last year, knows how to race, and Westby coming back from injury, well, he made some mistakes during this one. He would gather that one back up over the dirt he goes, and front wheel in the air. Eventually, Lewis and JD Beach, both from Kentucky, started to go after each other. That battle would go all the way to the checkered flag. Now this race is for 5th spot. Number 8, Garrett Gerloff, is in the mix with number 5, Westby, number 43, James Rispoli, and number 50, Bobby Fong. Fong seeing that triumph for the very first time on Thursday. When the checkered flag flew, it was the man who had been dominating all weekend on his YES Monster Energy Graves Yamaha, Cameron Beaubier, taking the win over Jake Gagne. And this fight did not disappoint. Gerloff on the 8, the 5 is Westby, the 43 Rispoli, and the number 50 is Fong. They head up the hill for the checkered flag. Westby and Rispoli decide they want to start dating, so Fong swoops around to take the position. Jason DeSalvo in 9th. Elena Myers, who just signed a 2-year deal in 10th spot. She'll ride that Triumph for a while. Now let's hear from our winner, Cameron Beaubier.
The weekend started off awesome. I started first practice leading by like a little over 2 seconds, and I was like, wow, that I wasn't expecting that. I like obviously wanted to stay on my form after Daytona and all that, but I wasn't expecting to be that much faster right out of the box. And then went into qualifying. It went pretty good. I was still a little bit faster than I think Jake was in second by like 4/10 or something like that. They closed in on me, and yeah, the first race I felt really confident. I didn't have the cleanest first race. I made a few mistakes here and there, but was able to pull away and win.
This is race number 2 of the GoPro Daytona Sport Bike class, and JD Beach gets another hole shot. Number 6 is Cameron Beaubier behind. Number 32 is Jake Gagne. And also trying to sweep around the outside there is Jake Lewis, trying to improve his finish from 4th. Yesterday's runner-up, Jake Gagne, on that 32 Road Race Factory Red Bull motorcycle, took the lead. Cameron Beaubier, yesterday's winner on the number 6, just went by Jake Lewis on the 85. So in this group of 5, you have Yamaha, 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 and then the lone 43, which is a Suzuki. So Yamaha clearly dominating with that R6. Now, all the chatter was about Cameron Beaubier's domination, but someone forgot to tell Jake Gagne on the 32 that Beaubier is the class of the field. Also, Jake Lewis, the Supersport East champion, he didn't care, in 3rd spot. And how about Rispoli on that Suzuki, trying to hold on as hard as he can. Unfortunately for LTD Racing's Huntley Nash, he had a bad get-off, and that would end his race. In the Supersport class a few years ago, he won right here at Elkhart Lake, his first AMA Pro win. But up front, drama for Cameron Beaubier. When this big moment happened, Cameron explains.
Yeah, you just couldn't keep heating the left side of the tire, and I came over that and slid a little bit and bucked me out of the seat. I smashed my windscreen and had to race the rest of the race with the broken windscreen, which wasn't that big of a deal, but it's definitely not what you want flapping on your face down the straightaway. So
these 2 California natives would duke it out for a few laps, but here's Jake Gagne to explain a little more.
On Sunday, it ended up being that way. I whole shot, I led a few laps, and then after that, it was just back and forth the whole time. I made one mistake one time, and he got away a little bit. Then it ended up I just said I wasn't going to let him close down the gap. I'll do whatever I got to do to try to make him not pull another gap. But yeah, I ended up doing that, and then we went back and forth a little bit. Then he made that little mistake with a few laps to go, and it was over.
That was the defining moment in the race when Cameron Beaubier couldn't get his motorcycle slowed down, ran wide in turn 5, and Jake Gagne was able to take it all the way to the checkered flag to win his 11th race at the AMA Pro level, his 2nd Daytona Sport Bike victory. But there was still that drag race to the start-finish line for 3rd spot, and it'll go to Jake Lewis on the MEEN Motorsports Yamaha R6. James Rispoli was able to finish 7th with Jason DeSalvo 8th. Elena Myers, her best Daytona Sport Bike finish to date. And how about Ben Young in 10th? Here's a look at the points. Beaubier leads Jake Gagne 89-74, with Dane Westby scoring 28 points in his first successful race of the year. More from our winner, Jake Gagne.
I was so stoked. I don't know. I didn't even want to think about it. I just kept, doing my thing and pretending like it's every other lap. I didn't want to ease up or anything, because that's when, I don't know, you lose focus, something bad will happen. So I just kept it going and just tried not to think about it until I actually crossed the line.
Make sure you check out AMA Pro Racing on television on CBS Sports Network. Next up, Barber Motorsports Park, June 22nd, pre-race show at 2:30 p.m. East, followed by Daytona Sport Bike, race number 1 at 3, and then Sunday at 3 as well. Keep in mind, it's CBS Sports Network, not Papa CBS. We stopped in Station 13, and the model they're building here is the King Quad LT A750 XP. And by the way, the serial number ends in 210. So if you're lucky enough to buy this model that ends up in the United States, your ATV in this form is on the web and maybe on television somewhere, who knows. But at this point in Station 13, the exhaust system has gone on. It's really starting to take form. I want you to take note of this part right here, the footrests. So the footrests are unique in the ATV arena because they're actually raised up a little bit. They give you more control, almost like a motorcycle. All right, let's keep on going down the line because this is 13 of 25. A quick stop at Station 17. You can see some cool things. The third headlight, the auxiliary light, is on there, and when you turn the handlebars, the light turns with it. That's pretty cool. You have the air box located right here. It's up high to catch clean air, but look at the fuel cell all the way to the back. Low center of gravity allows the King Quad 750 to turn really well. And what they do here is, well, it really starts to look like the quad you purchase at the dealership because all the bodywork's going on and the racks. Now this green one is the first green one of a long line of red ones. We're gonna head all the way down to the end and I'm gonna show you Station 24 where I got the luxury of getting my butt kicked. On the exit of Station 23, this is where the 750 started in the morning, the production line. So at this point, everything is really close to being ready to go. There's brake fluid in there, there's radiator fluid, there's even a splash of gas in here because it goes to quality check after. Now as I walk up to Station 24, there's a gap, and the reason the gap is here is because this is the transition from producing the 400s, which I had the luxury of putting tires on and some other parts this morning, and the gap is to the 750. So let's take a look and see how my first go at manufacturing went. Oh, it's ugly. We started with a quick orientation on what's going on. There is a step-by-step procedure for each and every station.
Chris is going to kind of walk through you on the work instructions, and then what that consists of is a step-by-step process to let you know what to do next. You know,
Yep.
just put a written instruction sheet, and then a team member that's going to be training you. He's going to pretty much walk through you on what you're going to be doing, and then he's going to give you piece by piece on assembling the ATV.
Okay. These steps seem very simple, but I would soon find out that wasn't the case. Anyway, the first step was to put some glue on the front fender where the S logo is going. That glue would set by the time it was ready to roll down the line for you to work on it. Then, grab the S, blow the peel away off the back, and simply place it on the front fender. Super easy, right? Nope. One of my logos got called back and stopped the line to be fixed. I got QC'd. Kind of like being DQ'd, I guess. We would put some inner fenders in, rear and front, left side only, then the wheels and tires already mounted. 4 lug nuts with torque specs and that white box thing always hanging around watching you. Yeah, so another easy one, right? Nope. I over-torqued a bolt, the line came to a screeching halt again, and we had to fix it. All the while, the management from SMAC were looking on. Oh, and that loud beeping noise, that's me stopping the line again. By the end of the shift, I had everything under control, and I think that the guys and gals really, really liked me, and I really think they wanted me to stay.
How you doing?
Outstandingly wonderful. How are you?
Got a problem though.
What's up?
We've been down 6 times on Tokyo, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. We got to keep the line going because we're not going to make enough ATVs today.
Okay.
So we're probably not going to try you on the other end. We'll just let you watch if that's okay with you.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a break here in a few minutes.
Okay. What the hell was that about?
You better hustle. He gave it 110 though, you know.
Did he stop the line at all?
About 6 times.
That's all.
6 or 7, somewhere around there.
Is that a record?
It's up there. I've never seen anything like it.
What about quality? Did he do a good job quality-wise, or a lot of mistakes?
He got about 5 or 6 defects, something like that.
That's a low number?
No, that's pretty high. That's pretty high. I'd fire him. I wouldn't have him.
Anyway, that was station 24 of 25. One final station to go. The final stop on the line is the inspection station. This is final inspection. All during the course of the 25 stations, they've been checked, double checked, and triple checked. Thank goodness, because I missed a mark in station number 2, but it was caught early, so it didn't shut the entire line down. Really impressed with how much quality goes into the manufacturing of these ATVs, and so should you. People that live in the United States, the quality of these ATVs go out worldwide, so all over the place. And they're made right here on the East Coast in Georgia. So, thanks to Suzuki, thanks to SMAC for having me out and disrupting their entire line. And sorry I had to stop the line 8 or 9 times, but I'm sure that with the work ethic and the quality of work that these people do here at SMAC, they'll pick up the pace. Hope you enjoyed it. So next time you get out and you're looking at your ATV, why don't you start really thinking about all the things that go into manufacturing this product so you can get out and utilize the utility version or the sport version of your Suzuki ATV. We hope to bring you more stuff like that in the future. Maybe I'll manufacture a tire or head to Italy to make a Ducati or Kawasaki for a jet ski. Who knows? But what I do know is it's time for motorcycle slang. Words or phrases that are used in the world of power sports that might be baffling to some. Now the word today is chassis. Now the chassis is made up of 2 components. So let me back up a bit. The 2 components are suspension and frame. So basically the suspension is the part of the motorcycle that suspends the bike. So you have front forks or the shock or shocks in the back. Some motorcycles have shocks, some don't. Either way, that's suspension. Now the frame is what's holding everything together. There are varied versions of frames, for another time perhaps, but the frame is the backbone to it all. So combine the suspension and the frame together, and you have what is commonly referred to as the chassis. If you have anything you want to know, anything you want to ask about the show, feel free to send me a message, show@gregsgaragetv.com, and I'll try to get it answered. I sure hope you enjoyed this edition of Greg's Garage, and please pass it along, share some videos, let everyone know we're out there. The more views, the more shows we can bring you. Until next time, keep logged on to gregsgaragetv.com, facebook.com/gregsgaragetv, and on Twitter you can follow me @GregWhite for the latest. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.